Dory and Tom here, is that right? Good morning, how are you? Then we got Nadine, hello? Hello? You can hear me? Okay. And then we got Alan and Deborah. Alright. Good morning, Deborah. How are you? Aloha, folks. My name is Greg. This helicopter is called the EC-130. It's worth $3 million away. We have it set up for it, and it's a fun way to see the island of Kauai. When you guys came out, they should have shown you a safety briefing video. Did you all see the safety briefing video? Any questions on that? And we have 3 microphones, 1 up front, 2 in the back. Here we go. Over on the right down here, so we'll take a look. Since they filmed Jurassic Park here, wouldn't it be fun to have the Jurassic Park ambiance music on? Let's do it. You can see all the light green between the trees. This is actually a type of fern called palapalai or uluhe ferns. And then also you can see all the trees broken off by Hurricane Iniki that hit the island in 1992. This is a Category 4 hurricane with 174 mile an hour winds. Now when you get about 80 mile an hour winds like you're telling me you guys are getting, that's a Hurricane Category 1 already, 75 and greater. They're probably just not formed into a rotation. Have any of you had a chance to get out to the Waimea Canyon yet? You guys remember when you drove up there, the road was down by the shoreline? I'm going to take you up over the center here where there's no roads, and it tends to be a little more rugged and dramatic just because I'm thinking you might like a little dramatics in your life. So we'll go up and over. Now we're going to climb up over the center, as I mentioned, to get to the Waimea Canyon. We're going to have to cross another major canyon here on the island. It's called Olokele. Kind of an interesting thing about Olokele is the whole entire valley was given as a wedding gift to the Robinson family. Could you imagine getting an entire valley on the island of Kauai as a wedding gift? But they already had so much land already that they decided to turn it into conservation land. In a couple of ways, that's pretty cool. It honors the fact that it was given as a wedding gift, so it won't be developed. There's no buildings, cars, roads, or people. It allows them to have a tax break so that they can maintain it that way and keep it that way. And then it allows us to see what Hawaii probably looked like when the first Polynesians came here from the Marquesas Islands near Tahiti. There's probably a few more invasive species plants in that, but I think the lay of the land, the cuts, the ripples, and the folds are all the same. Maybe a landslide or two may have occurred, but take a look at this. This is the wedding gift. It starts under the clouds on the right and runs all the way down to the dry side of the island on the left. This is Olokele Canyon, the wedding gift. Now when you get out into these areas, people start to wonder what types of animals are there. Hawaii doesn't have a lot of wild animals. You know, there's no wombats, wolverines, zebras, tigers, bears, anything like that, because we're so isolated in the middle of the Pacific. In fact, when the first Polynesians came at 800 AD, there was only two mammals, monk seals and hoary bats. So they brought with them dogs, pigs, and chickens. Have you seen any chickens while you're on Kauai? They're everywhere, right? About 1,000 years later, Captain Cook would land here on Kauai. After discovering other islands, he didn't take landfall, though, until Kauai, where the river goes out into the ocean. So this is where he gets credit for discovering the Hawaiian Islands in 1778. 1,000 years after the first Polynesians. That would open up the island to the whaling industry, who would trade on large numbers of mountain goats. Originally, the mountain goats were brought by Captain Vancouver, but in large scale, they were brought by the whaling industry. Then in 1961, black-tailed deer were introduced to Oregon. You guys have black-tailed deer in Colorado, or do you have a different type? Whitetail? Some other type, probably. This is where you can see deer. What did you say, whitetail?
Mule deer.
Mule deer, oh, okay.
And whitetail on the eastern plains.
I see. Yeah, well, you know, you could be hiking here, come around the corner and see deer, and you can see this looks more like maybe in your neighborhood than it does Hawaii, right? Down below us here, this is where the boundary line is for the state land. We're now in state land. Behind us was the Robinson land. There's a place where they can rest horses in the trees. There's a little hard to see shack, but you can see a trail there. They have a ranger station, kind of a station up on the top. Now you may remember when you're up here, Tom, you're at the lookout about where the sun is on the ridge right there. That's 3,400 feet. When it rains heavily in here, then the name is where it forms. This is called Red Water Canyon or Red River Canyon. And Waimea means red water in Hawaiian. So you can imagine heavy rain would mix with the soil, which has little tiny particulates of metal in it that rust and corrode. Now it's a very expensive process to pull this out and make metal, so we really consider Hawaii to not have metal, even though there are fine molecular particulates in the soil. There's no gold or silver, though. Now if you look carefully, Deborah, you can see there's people up on the ridge there. That's the lookout where you can drive. And then you'll look across over a mile away and there's an 800-foot tall waterfall. You can hike to this waterfall. It takes about 1 hour. But you really can't see the waterfall that well. So the best way to see it is by helicopter, which today we happen to have. You can see the lines in the lava is caused by the layers of lava coming out of the ground. It's 2,000 degrees liquid. It cools in contact with the air and then makes a hard crust, and another layer pumps out and goes over the top, and you get the layered look. I'm going to put a song on you guys might know, but if you're flying around in Hawaii, it's kind of cool to have on. See if any of you know this. Pretty famous. How's everybody doing temperature-wise? A little cold or good? Alright. Look on the right here, you'll be able to see the road right in the trees. The power lines is just above it, right on the edge here. And then off in the distance, you might be able to make out the island of Ni'ihau to the right. That's the first of the 8 major islands to make up the state of Hawaii. Today, only about 50 people live there. Not a lot of people. It did have about 600 Hawaiians till about, just recently it dropped down to about 50. There was 157 there for a long time. But the people who own the island of the Robinson family we talked about earlier, who own all the land here, they purchased the island in 1864 from King Kamehameha so he could get gold. They paid $10,000 in gold for 45,000 acres. Let's see if we can make a full circle rainbow for you. Have you guys ever seen that before? Let me see, I have to move to the left here first. We'll try and make a full circle one for you. Alright, we'll climb up, see if we can get the bottom to come in. It might be a little faint, but look. There we go. See the bottom down below us there? No, it's kind of not complete. We lost the top a little, but you get the idea. All rainbows are full circles. It's just that we view them from the ground. Or if you get up higher from them, you have clouds and things like that. You have to get in the right where the whole thing is in the sun. This is the Pu'ukapele forest. It's primarily eucalyptus trees from Australia. They were brought here later. Once they grew into a forest, the bats said, hey, this looks like a cool place to have our young. So in September, this is where the young bats are born. If you have a fire here, lightning strike caused this last one, the area burns. Usually it recovers, but this area did not. So they cut all the trees down. They're going to replant it to prevent erosion. It's been sitting since 2010, so you can see the area right below us is actually starting to go in by itself.
Clouds of white, brightness of day. I like the dark.
You have the white balls on the left is the Pacific Missile Range Facility's radar tracking site. Maybe I can make another rainbow right here. We'll try again. We got one on the left here. We can use that same effect and pull it over here.
Also on the faces of people passing by, I see friends.
Here we go.
Singing, how do you do? They really say,
Here's the left side.
I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them go. They'll learn much more.
There, the bottom. The top's not cooperating today, huh?
Wake up where the clouds are far behind.
Now right in front of us is a red cliff here, and that drops a half a mile to the valley below, and into a valley called Nu'ulo'aina, which is where they filmed King Kong. This will be the beginning of the Nepali Coast, the spectacular section. You'll like this. You could hike down here about 2.5 hours. That's 5 hours round trip though. But you can't get to the shore because it drops so steep. There's a humpback whale on the left there. Let's go see if we can see him. The nose is 12 at 11 o'clock. He just breached. It looks like a baby one. Just to the right of the bottom of the rainbow. Now look at the coast here. Don't see the whale anymore, but I'm going to do a turn here so you can see the coast anyways. So look, he's down here at 9 o'clock for those of you who are interested in the whale. We'll see if he comes up again. They're here from December to April. They have their young here in Hawaii. Then they head back up to Alaska. I don't see him, must have went down. This is an ancient Hawaiian fishing village here called Nu'ulo'aina. And then you can see Polihale State Beach in the front nose way out in the distance there. That's the longest beach in Hawaii. Continuous. It's 15 miles long. Now just coming up below you here, Tom, Hawaiians grew crops right in this valley above the water there. You can see lines, it's terracing. They plant crops right along there. This amazing area. They filmed Pirates of the Caribbean on the left here with Johnny Depp. I'll put on the right in just a moment. And right below you now, Nadine. It's also where they landed in King Kong when they found the island. I like this area in front of us is known as the cathedrals. It's a series of razorback ridges. This is cool. Look out in front of us here, though. You can see it looks like people. That's actually a very dense, hardcore lava. The Hawaiians call that feature the two children playing on the ledge again. Down below us, the beach on the left is Kalalau Beach, is where the trail ends for people who hike out here. It's called the Kalalau Trail because they would hike to this valley here in front of us, Kalalau. The beach is where it ends below us. 11 miles of twists and turns. And look at this. Maybe 5,000 Hawaiians lived in this valley. You know, when you go to Arches National Park, they have all those nice rock formations there. We had one of those formed 2 years ago. It just was a piece of this ridge fell away. The center did, and it made a hole. It's very difficult to see, but I thought I'll show it to you. Since you guys are from that area, you probably see a lot of that kind of stuff. This water supply right here is a freshwater drinking supply. Comes right out of the lava tubes inside the mountain. Right in front of me, slightly down, there's a hole right in the ridge. It occurred about 2 years ago. The center just fell out and created one of those arches. See it here on the left? Right down below me on the left side. Right in the rocks. See it there? Now it's on the front, right in front of us. It was there one day. It wasn't there the day before. Now you can't even tell that it happened. All the debris is covered by trees and bushes. Look down below us on the right. You can see the hiking trail in here. Right below us is about 6 hours into the hike. Can you see the trail right below you, Nadine? There's some people right there in light blue below you, Tom. Since it takes 6 hours to get to that point, my guess is that they're leaving. They spent the night out here and are going back out. Well, the trail is right below us here. I'm going to put it on your side now, Deborah, Alan. You can see it's red below you, and then it turns brownish gray. The brownish gray area is called the Crawler's Ledge, and is only this wide from my pinky to my thumb. It's kind of a spooky spot. If somebody comes the other way, one of the parties has to go back. They both can't cross. This valley right in front of us is called Hanakoa. If you get to here, it's required to have a permit from here behind us. From here forward, you do not have to have a permit. So usually people will hike to the first beach called Hanakavi'i Beach. That takes about 2 hours round trip, maybe 3 if you go slow. Now just for kicks and giggles, guess how deep the water is out here in the Pacific Ocean? It's about 10 to 30 feet deep right at the shoreline, right? But out under the clouds out there, it's 19,000 feet deep. That's over 3 miles deep. Remember, Denver's about a mile up. This is 3 times that deep in water. It's pretty deep. Probably don't want to drop your iPhone. Isidore, you and Tommy could hike to this beach here about an hour. And if you're really good shape hikers, it takes another 2 hours back in the valley. And there's a waterfall back there you can swim in. There's another whale breach right here. Let's go see if we can see him. He looks festive. Sometimes they'll breach 3 or 4 times. It's about 11 o'clock in front of me. He's just flipping his tail around or something. There might be 2 of them there. One jumped, one's flipping his tails around. Straight ahead of me, slightly halfway down the mid-screen. See if he comes up again. He's right in front of you, right about here. And let's see. I think they're going to the right. Now, whales have flukes, tails that are like human fingerprints. They have little white spots or gray or whatever. They're different. Each whale's tail is different, each fluke. Okay, they're right about 1 o'clock low here, heading to the right as they were, I think. So keep an eye out because they may breach, and I'll just do a little turn here and see if they got a chance to view these. There is a spout. 2 spouts, right at 1 o'clock low. They're a little tiny from the air here, so don't be looking for gigantic. They got a backup right now. It's right at 2 o'clock, almost going to 3 now. And the sun's going to make it difficult to see, but if the nose is 12, 3 o'clock, straight out to the right, look down. Straight down to the right here. And then I'll turn and we'll get the sunlight on them. To the right. There, down, straight out. Anybody can see them? Slightly behind us now, just a little bit back. Hard to see. That's your best lighting right there if you can't see them. They must have went down. Alright, we'll roll off. Maybe we get some more. Now if you want to see whales, the best way is to go on one of the catamaran boating trips, because they spend 5 to 7 hours out on the water. And you can also see them from the land at the Kilauea Lighthouse up in front of us, and then Breneke's on the south side by Poipu. Have you been up to the north side yet here, Tom?
Just in the canyon.
Okay. Yeah, if you came to the very end, it'd bring you to Kaua'i here. Then there's a wet cave, a dry cave, and the Limahuli Botanical Garden inside the valley. That's a neat place to go walk around for half an hour. They have two gardens there, an indigenous plant life and invasive species garden. You can come to this reef here called Tunnels, which is where Bethany Hamilton lost her arm to the tiger shark. Maybe you guys remember her story. She was about 13 years old when she was paddling out to go surf, bumped into a tiger shark, taking her left arm from the shoulder down. From right here in the water back to the shore, it took her 20 minutes to get into shore with one arm. By the time she got to shore, of course, everybody knew what was going on. The news and the media approached her about it. She looked them in the eye and said, "Whatever, life goes on, big deal." Wow. Well, she went on to become the women's surfing champion with one arm, and she still surfs right there. They made a movie about her called Soul Surfers. I saw at the end of December, so 3 months ago, that her and her husband were just about to give birth to their second child. So hopefully life's going good for them. Go ahead. Yeah, question, Dory? Comment? The homes on the shoreline here is called Hawaiian. We call it Little Hollywood. Pierce Brosnan, Bette Midler have homes there. You can see the coral, and then the light color is the sand. When the wave smashes against the coral, it turns it into sand. But another way we get sand is a fish. You guys have probably heard of the state fish, the huma nuku nuku apuaha. It chews on the coral, passing it over its gills and through its body to create sand. Mitzi Gaynor washed that man right out of her hair in South Pacific on this beach here, Lumahai, so that's very famous. It's right after Hanalei Bay. People don't know where it is. It's hard to find. Because the road is covered by trees, you can see right by the beach. People don't know the beach is there. If you come up to the north side, I would plan to eat in Hanalei Bay right here. There's quite a few restaurants there, but there's really not a lot of restaurants on the north side of the island. if you get your food to go on the left here, and I would take it out to the pier. There's a pier over on the left here. Takes about 3 minutes for most of the restaurants to get to the pier in the bay there. It has 2 picnic tables on the end and a roof, so it makes it kind of a cool little spot in case it does rain, which this is the wet side of the island and quite frequently does. As we mentioned earlier, this will be the tallest point on the island on the left side as we go in. Maybe we can get a rainbow going in here too. I'm gonna go over to the left a little and see if we can get a rainbow going in here. Kind of cool if you could. There we go, starting to form. You can see how if you were driving around the island, you might not even know this was here. Usually, Deborah, guys like to go find the dirt roads on the side and see where they go, right? My dad always did. I like to. But if you find yourself wanting to do that, Alan, you can see the albizia trees that look like broccoli here where they end. That's where they hit the river. That's where the road ends, right there. So you'll see to the right side of the tree as we go by a cul-de-sac area, kind of a circle. See that there? That's where the road ends, right there. And then the main gate for Jurassic Park was in the trees here. Just as it comes out of the trees, you can see the red dirt road inside. Right where it comes out, that's where the main gate was.
I don't think the rental company would like that.
No, they wouldn't like it, you're right. When we get on the ground crew is going to open the doors for us. You guys don't have to do that. We have service with Aloha. If you would like to take some pictures, go to the front. They'll let you use your iPhones, GoPros, laptops, whatever you have. They'll take you inside to show you the video. This does take a minute or two to pull up. If in the meantime you'd like to fill out a comment card, I appreciate those. And we have 3 computers you can go online and type out some of the highlights for other people to see what you thought. But again, folks, thank you very much. Mahalo. Enjoy the rest of your time here in the islands. Who knows? Maybe I'll see you down at Costco getting a slice of pizza. It's a small island. You never know. And it's the same price as the mainland. You get a $10 pizza. Now coming up in front of us here, this is the Lihue Basin area. The land below us is owned by Steve Case. He's the guy who founded America Online. He has about 49,000 acres on Kauai, making him the second largest landowner on Kauai.
Your cocktails and your dinner right in this building. Restrooms are located here to the left, so all you have to do is walk through the building straight across to our restroom facility. We have more trees coming up here to the right. We got the rubber tree family to the ficus banyan. Then we have the rainbow shower trees here to the right as well. Then up ahead, the purple blossoms that you see here are called the Hong Kong orchids. They're just starting their cycle. Moving over to our lagoon here to the right, we do have a lot of fish in here. We do have fresh and saltwater fish. We have barracudas, channel catfish, fresh and saltwater bass. We have tilapia, we have mullet, and we do have shellfishes. They're called the Samoan crabs and the Malaysian prawns. Over to the far right, that's our Japanese island. We do hold a lot of weddings on that island. You'll have time to walk around the property once the tram ride is over. Here to the left is our Lagoon Theater. This is where you're going to come to see our show tonight, featuring the golden people of Hawaii. The different ethnic groups that we do have here in Hawaii, such as Hawaiian, Japanese, Filipino, Chinese, and Tahitians. Our show starts at 8 o'clock tonight, right after dinner. Large tree with the yellow flowers to the right, called the Brazilian rose. Trees to the right here are called the ironwoods. This is the same wood we use for cooking of our pig as in the emu. We like to use the ironwoods because it puts off a good flame, lasts a whole lot longer than the other woods that we do have here on the island. So that's our favorite wood for cooking. We're coming up to our bamboo forest here. The type of bamboo that we have is called the golden bamboo. Now back in the day, the Chinese people would store water in the larger trunks of the bamboo. Taller, skinnier bamboos, they were used for fishing poles. Bamboo shoots, when they would stick out of the ground, they would dig it out, skin it, boil it, mix it with a special sauce, and they would eat it. Very delicious, the bamboo shoots. Coming up shortly up ahead here, we do have more trees. To the left, the larger trees here are called the paper bark eucalyptus. And over to the right, the little green trees are called the Kaua'i nut trees, or the candlelight tree. Now the reason why we call it the candlelight tree, back in the olden days, the Hawaiian people would pick all of the Kaua'i nuts, they would squeeze the oil out of it, then they would use the oil for fuel for their lanterns. That's how they got the nickname, the candlelight tree. Here to the left, plants in the water, these are called taro. Now the root from the taro plant is what we make that staple food called poi. Now if you haven't tried poi, we will be serving some poi at the Luau tonight. If you're gonna try it, take a piece of kalua pork or some of the lomi salmon, mix it in with the poi, then you eat it. It's pretty good. Poi is just like potatoes, you gotta eat it with something. So if you have a chance to try the poi tonight, try it. Lots of banana trees here to the left. This is one of the main ingredients in cooking of our pig that's in the emu. At 6 o'clock this evening, they'll tell you all about it at the emu ceremony. Off to the left here, we do have a lot of fruit trees. We got star fruit, cucumber, guava, another guava tree here, a large V-apple tree. And we do have banana trees to the right and to the left. We have breadfruit or ulu here to the right. Now also in this area, we do have lychee, mango, rambutan, Hawaiian orange, lemon lime, avocados, mountain apple, jackfruit, and sour sap, all in this area here. This is our Filipino village to the right. They got fruit trees as well. Tangerines, avocados, mountain apple. Last year we did have a lot of fruits. Hopefully this year we'll have another good year. Down in the valley here to the left, some of the tropical flowers that we grow here. A lot of red gingers, bird of paradise, pink gingers, a lot of noni trees, a lot of noni fruits on it. A lot of the local people like to come and pick the noni fruits. It's very good for medicinal purposes. This is a noni tree here to the right. You can see some fruits on it there. Now they usually gather about a dozen of those fruits, then they'll put it in a glass jar, let it sit out in the hot sun for about a week or so. Let all of the juices extract from the fruits, then they drink the juice. The juice is actually very good for high blood pressure and also for diabetes. So that's one of the local remedies that we do have. Here to the left, one of our favorite statues called the Aku Head. Now here on property, we do have a lot of peacocks, chickens, turtle doves, ducks, goats, and geese. We have our state bird, the nene goose, just started nesting on property. They're very safe here. Trees coming up to the right with the orange blossoms, they're called the African tulips. Then we do have a lot of coconut trees coming up here to the left, a lot of coconuts on it. So today and back then, we still pick the coconuts off of the trees, drink the juice, eat the meat from inside of it. In the olden days, the Hawaiian people used the coconuts for dishes. Coconut husks were used for scrubbing brushes. Coconut palm leaves, they were used for partitions. They also extracted the oil from the coconut meat and they made lotion out of it. Very, very useful. Coming up shortly to the left front, you'll see a cluster of trees right up here. They're called tamarind. If you look up high on the trees, you'll see a lot of tamarind fruits coming up here. We still use the fruits for cooking. They're very delicious, tamarind. Alrighty folks, in a minute I'll be dropping you off at the Emu, just ahead here to the right. Our Emu ceremony starts at 6 o'clock this evening. So we're going to walk around the property, be back before 6 o'clock, okay? After the Emu ceremony is over, you'll have cocktails in the building to the right. We'll be serving Mai Tais, beer, wine, mixed drinks, soft drinks, fruit punch and water for the kids. Then you'll have dinner. Then after dinner, you'll walk over to see the show. Now we do have a water station here to the right if you're thirsty. Look around you before you exit. Make sure you folks have everything with you. When you do exit, please exit to the right towards the hedges, okay?
Come on it.
I think I've never seen a chicken before.
here. Those already came out. That way we're not waiting around for dinner tonight. But this one here, ready for us when we go for seconds and thirds. So hopefully you're really hungry. You have this guy as well too. Okay, when we're done taking out the pig from here, we're gonna have you cross over the bridge here to the building next door. That's where cocktails and dinner is gonna be served. So all you can drink, all you can eat as well too. Yeah, that's my favorite. First thing that you want to do though when you go inside, go look for some seats. It's open seating. We have a few reserved signs for large parties. So if there's 6 or more in your party, and we knew that there were 6 or more, there's a sign with your family's name on one of the tables inside. If you have less than 6 people, it is open seating where there's no signs on the tables. Anywhere is good in here because it's just dinner while you're having dinner, music while you're having dinner. The show is actually down at the theater a little further back in the gardens. That is all theater seating. It's all good seats, so you don't have to rush down there as well too. There are several people who went in earlier. They went and held their seats by putting their jackets on a chair or taking a napkin out of a cup and messing the table up a bit. So if it looks like it's messed up, somebody already held that spot. They may have already licked the spoons as well too. So, if you need it, sorry, I saw you. Yeah. So if you need assistance looking for seats together, just look for one of my cousins or my aunties with the orange dresses. They'll help find seats together for you inside. So anywhere is good in here. So once you find your seats, hit the bars, and all the bars will be on the left side of the building as you go in. Farthest bar on the other side of the building, that is our Mai Tai punch bar. Mai Tais are made with 2 different types of rums and some fruit juices, so there is alcohol in there. Usually not so much of a line there because they make a whole bunch of Mai Tais. You just pick up a cup. As you work your way back this way here, there's a table with some red juice on it. That's a non-alcoholic fruit punch. Ice water on that table too. The main bar right in the corner here on the left, that one has beer, wine, soft drinks, and your standard liquors. So again, all you can drink, have fun. Just need to share with you a few liquor laws for the state of Hawaii. The main one is a drinking age for alcoholic beverage. Here in Hawaii, it is 21. So if you kind of look like you're on that age, then we ask for your ID inside. You can also only take 2 alcoholic beverages back to the table at a time. Not sure why that was about. They meant the royal family of Kaua'i was coming down the river, down the valley. That was the way I was saying that the leaking was coming down. So they're going to start digging here. While they do that, I'll explain to you the process of everything here. So once again, imu spelled I-M-U, imu. It is a cooking pit. We are cooking a pig. Pig in Hawaiian is pua'a. P-U-A-A, pua'a. What we did early this morning, we laid firewood at the bottom of the pit. Firewood that we use is something called ironwood, also known as Australian pine. Before we light the wood up, we'll actually put some rocks on there, and the rocks we use is lava rock. Lava rock is porous, which means it has holes in it. This is the type of rock you want to use when you're cooking underground, because most rocks are solid. Solid rocks can heat up to so much that they can't take the heat, they burst like a bomb. This one here will keep the heat in, and this will be the cooking element for the pig itself. So we can also reuse these lava rocks over and over again. Lava rock on top of the firewood. We'll then light the firewood up to heat the rocks. It'll take a couple hours to heat up, and while that's going on, we go into the gardens, we chop an entire banana tree down because we're going to use it here in the imu. Banana trees hold a lot of water. It'll create a steaming effect when we're cooking the pig. The style of cooking is called kalua. K-A-L-U-A, kalua. No H in there, that will be the liquor. So kalua, steaming and baking at the same time. So once these rocks are nice and hot, all the firewood is totally burnt down, so there's no fire going on in there, just the hot rocks. We'll go ahead and chop the trunk of the banana tree into several sections. We'll smash it up and place it right on top of all the hot rocks. We'll then place some banana leaves on top of that, and then some tea leaves. Tea leaves, not the drinking kind of tea, but the leaves the guys have around their necks here. T-I is the spelling of this plant. You find this throughout Polynesia, and here in Hawaii, our hula dancers like to use those tea leaves for their hula skirts. We wrap foods with it and steam foods with it. In a fever, you place that leaf on the fevered area. It will help draw some of the heat from the body. So many, many uses for this tea plant. And finally, we get to the pig. And all the pigs that we use are grown right here on the island of Kaua'i at a local family pig farm. Now we like that because we're supporting another local family business. But also, they do all the yucky stuff for us, like the pig. So they bring the pig, totally cleaned out in the center. We lay the pig on his back in a pan similar to this, and we'll spice him up. And the only spice we use is a Hawaiian rock salt. Thicker grain of salt, we sprinkle generous amounts in the cavities of the pig. We'll then go back into the pit, take some of the hot rocks out, and place it inside the pig. That way it's cooking from the inside out, as well as from the outside in. Pig goes on top of all the leaves. More leaves go over the pig. And we put a tarp over it just to make sure none of the sand or the dirt gets in there. So 9 hours later, here we are. We're going to take them out. We're going to place the pig on this pedestal here, and he'll be available for pictures if you like. And it's okay, that's part of your job. Pigs we use usually between 130 and 200 pounds each. And this is pig 4 of 4. The rocks in there are still very hot. If you want to cook another pig in there right now, we use those same rocks. Don't have to reheat them. Put the pig in right now, it'll be ready by tomorrow morning. You also see a pot coming out of the pit. In the pot we have a dessert. It is a Hawaiian rice pudding. Yummy. Have you learned the word for yummy in Hawaiian? I heard it. It's ono. O-N-O. Ono. Rice pudding? Ono. Boy? Oh no. The chefs love this way of cooking because all they'll do is they'll pick up the bones, they shake the bones, most of the meat falls right off the bones itself. Now the pig will not look like this when you go up to the buffet line tonight, which is probably good for everybody. It'll look like a pulled pork and a shredded pork when you get there to the buffet line. How about a hand for the guys? Knowing that the pig's not going to look like this after we're done, when we're done here, you'll get to take pictures of the pig if you'd like in its current state. The guys will be right over here if you'd like to take pictures with the emu nets. Hitch light. Pull your nets. Pull from the left. 1, 2, 3. Your nets are swishing. Here's the bay. Hitch light. Going. Pull your nets. Pull from the left. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. Touch your shoulders. Take a dive. You have done the Luau.
Okay? You guys know your groups?
can hear those helicopters flying over you.
Well, you need it too for everybody back there.
Yeah. Good timing.
right onto Rice Street. In half a mile, keep right onto Kaua'i Highway.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather.
Happy trails to you till we meet again. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then. Who cares about the clouds when we're together? Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails to you till we meet again. Who cares about the clouds when we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather.
Happy trails to